Hello, Louise Maclean from Signature Pubs. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Hospitality Talks. For those people out there who don't know you or don't know Signature Pubs, do you want to just give us a bit of a rundown?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I work for, we still consider ourselves as a small business, but we're probably a lot bigger now. We've got 22 pubs. They are bars, restaurants, hotels, a nightclub. We'll talk about that later. And we've got 700 staff across the estate, about 750 actually. We've got 700 on furlough. And we have been operating since 2003, and the estate's steadily grown. We didn't intend to have 22 pubs. We just capitalised on opportunities and found ourselves all of a sudden with a bigger estate than we originally thought.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now, what I'm really keen to understand is obviously you're Scotland-based, the business is Scotland-based, and I'm not sure that we know as much about what's been happening there and what the plans are there that we are in England. So it'd be really great to get your view on that. What happened initially? Did you lock down around the same time as us, and what happened in your business?
Yeah, we were in. All the directors were in a bar actually, watching Rishi and Boris. And we closed at 9 o'clock that night. We went around every single site we could to thank the staff for how hard that last week had been, and to say we'll be back. It was quite it was quite an emotional night, and we were trying to be quite motivating about it. But yeah, whole thing, everyone on furlough.
Right. And then what's been happening since? So over the last sort of, was it 12 weeks, 14 weeks? I don't know, it feels like years, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
But, since then, what's been going on within your estate?
Scenario planning, and then ripping that up, and then creating a new scenario, and then ripping that up. So basically trying to look at this from every single angle, and put ourselves in every single person's shoes, looking at when we can unfurlough staff, when we can open, what will that offer look like? Rewritten menus, sliced and diced menus, to get down to a really niche core offer, that are crowd pleasers, that our customers are going to want, that they will have missed. Yeah. So it has been stripping the business back, and then just literally looking at a rebuilding exercise, block by block. We're now in a place, we just had our team call this morning. We now have a plan.
Right.
We now have a reopening plan, and I'm not kidding, we've had so many. But when this started, we all started off listening to Boris avidly and listening to the Westminster government. And obviously, as this has gone on, what's happening in England is not happening in Scotland.
Right.
We are taking a much more cautious approach. The Scottish government are more cautious, and nothing is above the health agenda. Economy is absolutely important, but nothing's more than a life, I guess, is how it's being portrayed up here. So we are watching what happens in England, but kind of just with one eye, because our own First Minister will set out the terms of how she sees hospitality and the economy unlocking when the time's right.
And do you have any indication of what that might look like as of yet?
Yeah, it was quite interesting. We were on a call, bizarrely, the owner of Signature was on a call with the First Minister on Wednesday with a few key licensed trade personnel in Scotland and business owners. So she's basically said, I haven't seen the English advice. She's reiterated that she hasn't seen the advice that Boris Johnson's working on, but she's commissioned her own advice, and that will come on the 2nd. Okay. She hopes that advice will give us the green light to open beer gardens on the 6th, so outdoor hospitality. I think beer gardens is a bit of a swear word just now, so we're calling it outdoor hospitality. And then we hope that if things progress, we will move to indoor hospitality in or around the 15th. But she was at pains to say don't bank on that, because I don't know if you're aware, in Scotland, so we thought we were going to get to open last weekend, beer gardens. And we had 3 that we were ready to go. So we'd unfurloughed staff, we'd bought stock, we'd paid for a lot of money for marketing materials and directional signage, and we'd written menus and costed menu. We'd done a lot of work. Yeah. And we didn't find out till about 7:30 that Friday morning, or the third, that we weren't getting to open.
Wow. And what changed that situation then? Why did that go?
Well, what the government said was, we never promised. No. So there's quite a good few memes about that, I beg your pardon. I never promised you a beer garden. So,
well, I think that's the first song we've had on Hospitality Talks. Okay, so where do you? So I mean, I'm interested because obviously we've worked with you on a little bit of research in the past, and I know that you're incredibly focused on the customer and the consumer and what they think of you guys as a brand, but also generally about hospitality. Have you noticed a difference in the consumer over the last sort of 3 months? You know, are they becoming, you know, bolder and perhaps more open to going out to hospitality in recent weeks than they were previously? I mean, what's your sort of overview from what you're seeing on your socials?
Well, we opened 3 sites for takeaway. We actually repurposed businesses for takeaway. One we did in Edinburgh. We've got 11 sites in Edinburgh, and it's quite a big site with a big forecourt. And I don't know if have you ever been to a Time Out Market in New York or Miami? And it's they're absolutely amazing. And so I kind of had that in my head. So we got a lot of the bars using their own brands and what they're good at to come under one roof.
Right.
So we repurposed the business to making it a takeaway model and a bit like a food court. And that's worked brilliantly. That's gone really, really well. And it's the balance of people who are prepared to queue, who don't mind queuing, and people that do not want to queue. I want my collection time. I want minimum interaction. Leave it there and I'll pick it up. And it's just making sure that we've got enough for everyone. And I think the thing about COVID is it's very personal to you, how you feel about it. And we have to be empathetic and try and cater for those who are confident and bold and nothing can touch me, and the ones that are saying, I'll be back, but I'm not ready to yet.
Yeah. And just talk me through then so obviously you haven't had the guidance from your government yet from Nicola Sturgeon, and so you don't know exactly what you have to do in venue. No. But what have you already prepared for? So what changes have you made, you know, regardless of what the
So independent risk assessment per business that will be available. It's quite lengthy. Independently done, independently audited, and available for customers to download via a QR code on the wall of every unit. Mm-hmm. Cleaning regime, extensive, as you would imagine. Software for QR code for menu, plus disposable, because you've got that barrier of people who are totally happy to download, and people like my mum that think if she downloads anything, all money's going to disappear from her bank account. So need to make sure there's still, you know, disposable menus for those that would prefer it. Disposable everything. I mean, it's a bit of a shame because of everyone was going very sustainable. Yeah. But now sustainable stocks have dwindled, and it's now a necessity. So I think we need to try and get back on that message when we can. We think we will be booking essential. We're anticipating booking essential. We're anticipating track and trace. Yeah. Right. And also we're expecting length of stay restriction, possibly. I see what Ireland have done, which is you must buy a meal or you must spend €9 on food when you sit down. Right. We're just trying to prepare for everything, and then you hope to be enforce the minimum on a customer, but there are going to have to be rules. Literally, these are our rules. Please don't hate me for having to enforce these. Please, if you turn up with 7 of your mates, I'm going to have to tell one of you to go home. Yeah. You know, I am going to ask you, are you part of the same household? Yeah. That's going to be challenging. But again, need the government message to say, when it's right, hospitality is safe to visit. Please go and support your pub. Yeah. And the message also has to be of cut them a bit of slack. They've got to ask these questions. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because hospitality by nature is hospitable, and we've got to be careful. You know, and I've said this a couple of times recently. Used the phrase, throw the baby out with the bathwater. We've got to be a little bit careful that by adhering to all of these rules and all the hygiene and everything else, that we don't become this clinical, sterile box. Yeah, exactly. So we've still got to keep that traditional welcome there. So just moving forward then, how are you feeling about the next few weeks? Are you feeling positive, or do you think that you are? Yeah, I am. I'm yeah.
And why is
Why?
that? Yeah, why? Tell me why.
Why is it? Because I guess summer's round the corner, you know, and the virus looks like it's starting to get under control, certainly in Scotland. People are looking to still have experiences. Every Mother's Day was missed. Father's Day happened in garages in Scotland because it rained, you know. You know, we're ready for occasions, we're ready to celebrate. And it's about our bars providing the safest environment for that to happen, because we promote social interaction. That's what we're there to do. We're there to help people enjoy themselves. And it's kind of like saying, right, don't do this, don't do that, remember to enjoy yourself. You know? You know, you're here to have a good time.
So you will do, whether you like it or not, you'll damn well have a good time.
Yes. So I think that's been our message at the end of everything, is hashtag remember to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Excellent. And I think that's the perfect place for us to leave this. Louise, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on Hospitality Talks, and look forward to possibly coming up and seeing one of your wonderful pubs when I'm allowed to.
Yes, when it's safe to do so.
When it's safe to do so. And I will enjoy myself. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thanks.